Jules, it's with you that we start because there are reports in Spain. The Madrid sports newspaper AS reporting that Real Madrid want rid of Gareth Bale. They've had enough.
Yeah, which doesn't really come as a surprise. We know how difficult relationship he's had with Zinedine Zidane in the past, and with Zidane returning to the club, that never sounded that good for Bale. However, his agent before said that he wanted to stay, that there was no problem with Zidane. Clearly, if AS is writing it, it's because they've got obviously some sort of lead from the club. And again, it's no surprise. The big question really is, where will he go? That's the big question, because at his age and with the money he's on and the money Real Madrid will want to get for him, there are not many clubs who can afford him.
What clubs are we talking, Jules? This is the problem, isn't it? His wages are going to be a real issue if Real Madrid want to get rid.
Yeah, you're right. And especially, for a player that's turned 30 as well, who has been a lot of the time injured, even in his time in Madrid, and has been on and off the field despite some great moments as well, and has been really poor at other times. I think you have to look back at, coming back to England for him, obviously. I think the romantic story will be a return to Tottenham, which clearly they cannot afford, whatever way you're looking at it. Manchester United is clearly a club that could afford to sign Gareth Bale. Do they really want him at the club? Do they really need him as well? I'm not so sure. And then there's obviously, the issue with Paul Pogba. Could a swap between Bale and Pogba with some money somewhere going as well the other way be an option? That might be the best option right now, maybe.
Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's focus, shall we, on Gareth Bale for now and where he stands in relation to other players and their world-class status. Because a couple of years ago, you used to say that Gareth Bale could walk into most teams. I think that would be fair. Mm-hmm. That conversation has changed now, hasn't it?
At the moment, yeah, because of form and injuries and whatever. I mean, when the guy puts his resume and lays it out, it's pretty good.
Of course.
Very good. However, he's been inconsistent at best and injured a lot. And as Jill said, at his age and his wages, it's going to be a big issue for him now. Look, I think there could be a case here. And I do think Zidane's gone in there and said to Perez, here's what we need to do in terms of purchasing, and here's what we need to do in terms of getting rid. But on the other side of the coin, Gareth Bale might just say, I tell you what, we didn't have a good relationship before with Zidane, but I'm going nowhere.
Right.
I'm going to sit here in Madrid because I enjoy living in Madrid. This is a great club. I'm getting paid fortunes. And if you don't want to play me, fine. But unless I get the move that I absolutely want and the money that I want, I'm not going to go anywhere. Now, that could be detrimental to his career. Of course it could. Well, it would be, particularly for international football as well, for Wales. But it might be a case where that's what he does. Because if United don't want him, Chelsea can't sign anybody, there's no room for him at Liverpool, and they're not going to go after him. And unless he took an almighty wage downturn, then he can't go to Tottenham. And that's unlikely.
How hard should United push for him?
I wouldn't be pushing if I was them.
Really?
This is not a guy that you... Listen, we all thought that with Ronaldo going, this was an opportunity to really see what the real Gareth Bale was. Could he take this team on his shoulders? And quite frankly, it's been an emphatic never, not happening, no chance. When a guy plays for Wales, different kettle of fish. But right now, why does he have to move anywhere? He's 30 years of age. He's won every single thing in the game pretty much possible. So why does he need to... He's not going to be sitting there thinking, oh, well, where can I go where I can win another Champions League? I don't think he's thinking that at all. He's like, listen, if I'm going anywhere, I'm going to get the same money. Otherwise, I'm staying where I am. I'm with Craig. And I don't see any of the top teams wanting him. Who wants him? Bayern need him. Right. But Bayern ain't paying him that amount of money. So he's got nowhere to go.
Well, Bayern are trying to go down a younger path.
Yeah.
So that rules him out.
So where does he go?
A couple of different scenarios for Gareth Bale. You just asked the question, where does he stand in this world-class picture? And part of it, of course, as Craig just mentioned, well, yes, you have to produce consistently, but you also have to be available. Yeah. That's also part of being world-class. And that's also part of what we look at Cristiano Ronaldo, we look at Lionel Messi, that they're rarely injured, that they're always producing, that they're always scoring goals. And that's a standard that this guy was supposed to produce at. It was never going to happen. It didn't happen. And so, therefore, as it pertains to world-class, not quite there because you're not on the field to prove it. Because of that, if you're Manchester United and you have just gone through the Alexis Sanchez situation where you thought this is the guy that was going to make us a different team, an older star, a guy that now their legs are gone and it's not quite what he used to be, then you have to be able to learn from that and say, we don't want any part of anything similar to this because this didn't work. And now we don't know what to do with Alexis Sanchez. Nobody wants him. We don't want him. We don't play him. He's not doing anything on the field. I would not touch Gareth Bale. And then you change it to the part from Real Madrid. The perspective of Real Madrid is not only the fact that Gareth Bale has not been as good for you as you would have hoped he would have been for you. It's the fact that he doesn't even get along with his teammates. Yeah. So it's not only Zidane that it's an issue here coming back. It's also an issue that clearly there is a separation and there is a distance between the players and Gareth Bale. How he stays in that environment, I have no idea.
Now, let's be honest, Ronaldo timed this brilliantly.
Right.
Had Ronaldo left a couple of years ago, we might have seen a different story from Gareth Bale. You know, the shackles off.
Yes.
And it's been, don't get me wrong.
Plus, his supporting cast have been terrible this
That's
season.
my
as well,
point.
isn't
A
it?
couple of years ago, this Real Madrid side were in much better shape. I think it's safe to say not even Ronaldo would have dragged them through this season, right, as good as he's been or as great as he's been. So in terms of the timing, everybody looking to Bale in particular to pick them up by the coattails, and the whole team from the management through to the players have been a shambles, which he's been part of. So it's a little unfair to label him as he's just failed because the timing of it has been terrible.